Time is strange. We can't see it, touch it, or grab it, but we all feel it slipping away faster as we get older. Right now, you're experiencing time differently than a 10-year-old watching this video, and they're experiencing it differently than someone who's 80. Same clock on the wall, same 24 hours in a day, but totally different experiences. There's something weird going on with time as we age, and it's not just in our heads. I spent months researching why this happens and stumbled onto a mind-blowing discovery that even challenged Einstein's view of time. When scientists measure time, they slice it up into perfect little chunks. Seconds, minutes, hours, all marching forward in a straight line. Makes perfect sense, right? No, it doesn't, at least according to one of my favorite yet unpopular philosophers by the name Henri Bergson. The French philosopher saw something so radical about time that it sparked one of the greatest intellectual showdowns in history. In 1922, he stood up in front of Albert Einstein, yeah, that Einstein, and challenged everything we thought we knew about how time works. What Bergson discovered wasn't just some theory. It explains exactly why your childhood felt like it would last forever, but now years slip through your fingers like sand. So your brain actually processes time totally differently when you're young. Remember being a kid and trying something new for the first time? Maybe riding a bike or that first day of school? Those moments felt huge, like time was stretching out forever. That's because your brain was working overtime, taking in every single detail. Think about your daily routine right now. Wake up, coffee, work, dinner, sleep. Your brain knows this pattern so well it barely notices the details anymore. Days blend together because they look almost identical to your mind. But in childhood, every day brought something new. Your first time tasting ice cream, learning to swim, making a new friend. Your brain lit up with each fresh experience, creating vivid memories that felt longer, fuller, richer. Bergson called this real experience of time duration. Not the tick-tick-tick of clock hands, but the actual flow of life as we feel it. When you're deep in conversation with someone you love or lost in your favorite activity, clock time means nothing. Minutes and hours dissolve into pure experience. Most philosophers before Bergson saw time as a straight line, past, present, future, all neatly separated. Even Einstein viewed it as just another dimension, like space. But Bergson realized we don't live time that way at all. Our minds don't slice life into separate moments. Instead, every experience flows into the next, carrying the past with it. Take music, for example. When you hear a melody, you don't experience each note separately. The previous notes linger in your mind, blending with the present ones to create meaning. That's how real time works. It's all connected, all flowing together. And once you understand this difference between clock time and real time, something clicks. You start seeing why childhood memories feel so vast, while recent years seem to vanish. The secret lies in how our brain stores experiences. Novel moments demand full attention. They create strong, detailed memories that feel longer when we look back. For routine experiences, our brain practically runs on autopilot, barely leaving a trace in memory. That's why a week-long vacation can feel longer than a month at work. Your brain wakes up when experiencing new things. It pays attention. It creates those rich memories that stretch time in our minds. Bergson wasn't just theorizing. He spent years studying how memory and consciousness work. He discovered our past isn't locked away in some mental filing cabinet. It's actively shaping how we experience the present moment. This understanding gives us a way to actually change how we experience time, and it's not what most people would expect. Before I continue, I'd love to hear your thoughts about time and what you think of Henri's perspective so far. Please let me know in the comments and subscribe to the channel for more similar videos. The science behind Bergson's ideas runs deeper than just memory. In 2019, a Duke University researcher named Adrian Bejan made a fascinating discovery. As we age, our brains actually process visual information more slowly. Like an old computer struggling to load new files, our aging minds take longer to create mental images from what we see. When we're young, our brains zip through new information at lightning speed. Images flood in rapidly, making each moment feel packed with detail and meaning. A single year means something completely different to your brain at different ages. French philosopher Paul Janet figured this out way back in 1897. A year feels incredibly long to a 5-year-old because it's 1/5 of their entire life, a massive chunk of their experience. For someone who's 50, that same year is just 1/50th of their life. No wonder it feels like it flies by. Bergson took this idea even further. He argued clock time itself is artificial, just a convenient way to organize society. Real time flows more like a river than a ticking clock. Past moments don't disappear. They flow into the present, shaping how we see everything. That's why old songs can instantly transport you back to specific memories, or why certain smells remind you of childhood. When we understand the connection between past and present, it reveals something crucial about making the most of our time. Modern life only speeds up this feeling of time racing by. Our phones, social media, endless notifications, they all create a constant stream of similar experiences. Each scroll, each like, each message blends into the next. No wonder months slip away without leaving any real mark in our memories. Scientists discovered something strange during the COVID lockdowns. For many people, time felt like it stood still. The forced break from normal routines created what psychologists call temporal dissonance. Life became unfamiliar again, making us notice details we'd stopped seeing. Learning from this reveals a simple but powerful way to slow down your perception of time. French psychologist Paul Janet found we're most alert, most alive, when facing novel situations. Moving to a new city, starting a relationship, learning to play an instrument. These experiences engage our full attention, creating those vivid memories that stretch time in our minds. Bergson would say we're trapped in what he called spatialized time, treating time like a schedule to fill rather than a flow to experience. We plan every hour, optimize every minute, trying to squeeze more into each day. Yet somehow, this makes time feel like it's passing even faster. The solution isn't complicated, but it demands courage. Breaking routines, taking new paths, speaking to strangers, learning skills that scare you a little. Each novel experience creates what neuroscientists call time markers in your brain, distinct memories that expand your sense of time. And there's an even deeper insight about memory and time that most people miss entirely. Your memories don't just record the past, they actively shape your future. When you do something new, you're not just creating memories. You're literally changing how your brain processes time going forward. Each fresh experience builds new neural pathways, making your mind more receptive to noticing life's details. Living in duration, as Bergson called it, means embracing uncertainty, letting go of rigid schedules sometimes. Creating space for spontaneity, not just counting time, but making time count through meaningful experiences. This brings us to the most practical question. How do we actually apply these insights in daily life? Living more like a kid doesn't mean acting childish. It means approaching life with fresh eyes, taking a different route to work, ordering something weird off the menu. Small changes wake up your brain, making each day stand out instead of blending together. Japanese researchers found something interesting about elderly people who keep learning new skills. Their perception of time actually slows down. Learning a language, mastering an instrument, picking up photography. These activities create what scientists call temporal landmarks in your memory. The math behind this effect shows something surprising about how much control we have over our time perception. I believe Bergson would probably love social media detoxes. Not because he hated technology, he actually found new inventions intriguing, but because stepping away from constant stimulation lets us experience what he called pure duration, time unchopped by notifications and alerts. Try this experiment. Pick one day a week where you do everything differently. Take a new way to work. Talk to someone you normally wouldn't. Eat lunch somewhere new. Watch how that day expands in your memory compared to your routine days. The real power of these changes comes from understanding one key principle about memory and time. Your brain doesn't care about clock time. It measures life in moments that matter. That's why an hour of genuine conversation feels richer than 3 hours of scrolling social media. Quality of attention beats quantity of time every single time, making each day count not by doing more, but by noticing more. And this leads us to the most powerful insight of all. When I started researching why time speeds up as we age, I expected to find complicated scientific answers. Instead, I found something much more valuable, a way to actually change how we experience time. Bergson gave us practical wisdom that modern science keeps proving right. We can't stop time from moving forward, but we can change how we experience it. So yeah, clocks will keep ticking, years will keep passing, but by understanding what Bergson discovered about time, we can make those years feel rich and full again, just like they did when we were young.